Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and we are on the fourth pattern that I just kind of came up with myself. And this time it went a little bit more complicated than the previous ones because instead of carrying two colors and letting them kind of interchange or whatever, we went with four. And I thought it was important to make it um, basically I kind of wanted like too hot and too cold, and I was working with strings out of the scrap. It ends up there. It's technically three hot, but the one red is so dark, it doesn't seem like it's a hot color at all. It kind of it's almost into the purple range. It sort of balances it, and it allows it to sort of act as like a cold color, which works out really well in this pattern. In fact, it seems to alternate really, really well, which I liked that a lot. Um, the pattern itself, it it took me a second to kind of get it figured out as I was starting it, and then I kind of went with the same rhythm for the whole rest of the bracelet. It's basically doing small areas that allows it to unlock the potential for the string to be able to make the longest path possible, even if it's just the little one in the middle going 3 knots. Um, it's put into the order that it makes that possible instead of doing two and then coming back to it. So there's, if you kind of watch the methodology that I go through in making this, you'll probably save yourself a bunch of time. Speaking of time, it took about an hour and 5 minutes to make it. The extra 5 minutes is probably just comes down to the fact that there's no big area of doing a segmented knotting to it. It's just lots of little bits always happening. First I'm working on one side, next thing you know I'm working on the other side. It's kind of funny like that. But at the end of the day, it's a gorgeous bracelet. I got it in my hand in case you're wondering what I'm looking at. It's really gorgeous. It's really, really fun. Um, I kind of, in my mind, when I was dreaming this up, I kind of wanted to go with something that looked like a double helix. But then when I was working out the pattern, I suddenly kind of got panicky and couldn't picture what that would really kind of look like. And so then I went with this more Celtic kind of look where everything is always alternating, which one was the one that just went over, now goes under, and it always does that. It's always over, under, which is cool. It totally turns out into a thing. It wasn't exactly what I was first thinking of, but I love it nonetheless. I really think it's fun. I am curious what it would take to make it look like a two helixes together, you know? Or would it be four? I'm not sure how that works. We have a bridge here in Singapore that's down near the waterway that has these big, like, stainless steel tubes that kind of twist around. And I was trying to picture it like that in my head. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what that would look like with a top-down version. So maybe I got to go down there and try to find a vantage point for that bridge to maybe try this again someday. Other than that, it still turned out cool. It still turned out really, really interesting. It was real easy to follow along with the pattern to see where I was because it's so many different colors. Like, all I have to do is look at where the color is. I did change out one. In the original, when I drew it up, I did a green, and I replaced that with an orange. So that kind of threw me a couple times. Like, wait, where am I? Oh, right, green equals orange. Got it. Which obviously that's not very intuitive. But like I said, when I was making the pattern, I wasn't sure which kind of colors I was going to actually go with. It just seemed like, making a strong contrast was important so I could be able to visually see what I was doing. And yeah, I love the bracelet. I really, really do. Now, mind you, like I said, I created this pattern from scratch, like without looking at anything, without whatever. That's not to say that the pattern doesn't exist somewhere else out there, because I realize that, like, whatever inspired me to kind of do this, I'm probably not alone. And some of these other people probably know how to actually work the stuff on these other web pages to do it. So before you think like, oh, he's a fraud or whatever, no, I'm not. I really did come up with this myself. It was just a little thing I daydreamed up, and then wanted to try it, and it didn't come out exactly how I thought, but it still came out neat. So yeah, there's that. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. It's pretty neat though. Oh, hang on. I need to thank my YouTube members for making this possible and encouraging me to get out there and make this stuff and have fun with it and be creative, because without that support, without that push to have floss here to work with and everything else, I think this channel would have died out a long time ago. Where are we on videos? Hang on, I can actually tell you exactly. 844 videos to date, and that's not including the live streams. So yeah, I have definitely tried very hard to show you guys how to create patterns from pictures, or just taking the simplest part of the patterns on the web page and then recreating it as if it was working from a photo, to just all the things that I try to teach you guys, making bags, making chapstick holders, and hair ties, and there's so many different videos out there so far, and I keep trying to come up with more, and I keep trying to come up with new patterns that's never been made before. In fact, I think I'm going to take this pattern and try to change it again, and see what happens with that, because I think it'll look interesting, and that's about enough motivation is all I need to get me trying out something new and different. And yeah, we'll see how that comes out. So that's probably tomorrow's video, is making a pattern for this new idea I have in mind. It feels like this month has just been about like whimsical, try a thing and see how it goes, and I'm here for it. I love it. I like the notion that we can experiment and see what comes from all that. All right. We're getting towards the end of this thing. I know. I sped the video up kind of quick because I knew that this week. Oh, by the way, 4 strings instead of 2. My tassels are super long. Like, I didn't expect that part. I did not expect to use the same length of strings, that by adding 2 other colors, because there's those few knots that don't get tied, that my tassels would end up being back to normal compared to like the last few bracelets I made. So that was interesting. Almost forgot to tell you guys that. But yeah, turned out really nice. Very surprising. Again, I cut my string in thirds. It's going to be long enough for the pattern. It just surprises me when a little subtle change and suddenly the tassels are full length. Very subtle, very different. I don't know. I think we're at the nearing the end of this. Yeah, this got to be that last red one right there, right? All right, guys. I really want to thank you for watching. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like button. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.